fantasy authors take on a sadistic games master. Will they survive? Look into the asshole long enough, and the asshole also looks into you. Authors and Dragons! Authors and Dragons!
Hi, I'm John Hartness, and I'll be playing the role of Fandingo the Fantastical, fireball-flinging bard and Bjorg's worst friend. In real life, I write a bunch of different stuff, including the Quincy Harker Demon Hunter series, the Bubba the Monster Hunter series, the Black Knight Chronicles, and the Dead Old Ladies Detective Agency books. So get on out there and buy something, why don't you?
Hello, I'm Joseph Brassi, player of Bjorg Bjornsson, and here to bring you the Bjorg Power Slaughter Hour. In real life, I write Skyfarer and Dragon Road for Angry Robot books, and the lovely Mongoliad books, which are about a group of knights finding adventure and self-discovery as they go to Mongoliad to murder a sovereign.
Hey everyone, my name is Rick Gualtieri, and I play the mysterious Arrow of the Gods. Who could he be? In real life, I write several series, including the Tome of Bill, the Crypto Hunters, and the Hybrid of High Moon, and I'm currently working on a sequel series, The Tome of Bill, the first book of which, Strange Days, by the time you're listening to this, well, it won't be out because I have to edit this motherfucker, but the first draft will be done.
Hello, friends. My name is Robert Bevan. I play the role of Klaus Richter, notorious ROG. In real life, I write the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels and short stories, starting with the first book, Critical Failures. I've recently released the 5th short story in the upcoming 6D6 collection, The Wang is the Hardest Part. Get it now.
Hi there, my name's Steve Wetherill, and I play Brandon Viemaster, the currently somewhat sticky monk. In real life, I write the comedy fantasy adventure series, The Doomsayer Journeys, or the first of which is called The Last Volunteer, so go check that out. Cheers.
Hi, I am Drew Hayes, writer, dungeon master, and definitely coming to steal your teeth. In real life, I write books such as NPCs, Fred the Vampire Accountant, Superpowers, and Shingles, the latest of which, Slaughter on Giggletime Mountain, will be coming out just a few days after you're hearing this, unless you waited a few days to listen to this, in which case, shame on you, now go buy the book. When last we left our intrepid adventurers, they had been, well, killing a lot of slot pulls, if we're being honest. Just a shitload of innocent baby creatures that were doing nothing more than trying to survive.
Oh, come on, they were gross.
Yeah, we showed them.
It's unfortunate you can't make a goblet out of their skull because they don't have skulls
Yet.
Wait, what?
Well, they'll develop skulls.
You can't fuck a skull into
Or
existence.
they would develop skulls if we hadn't killed them in their youth.
I dare say you can only fuck a skull into existence.
Oh, shit.
That's deep. Where do we go from here?
I'm very confused.
It's like, what came first, the skull or the dick that fucked it?
Now I'm not confused, I'm just disturbed.
The skull doesn't come, the dick would.
God damn it.
We like to tackle the big questions on this podcast.
What game were we playing again?
The answer to an age-old question, I just realized, is instantly solved by Bevan philosophy. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? The chicken has a dick!
Well, I think it probably has a cloaca.
Yeah, fuck you, Drew.
Well, Bevan is the expert on cloacas. I defer to Bevan.
They still, I guess they still probably come through the cloacal kiss.
God fucking damn it.
3 minutes in, folks. New record.
According to RealClearScience.com, yes, a chicken has a cloaca. Do you know what the plural of cloaca is?
Cloacae?
Cloacae?
Yeah, I've been using cloacas, but Well, I'm using the word, not actually using cloaca.
That's good. But yeah, it's however you pronounce that. It's the AE sound.
You know what? Fuck higher education. Just tune into this podcast.
But only about the cloaca.
Just think, you could send your tuition money to some university, or you could spend it on our Patreon.
Sure.
Cobra Kai, Chloe Kai.
When I need to remember what the plural of cloaca is, I'll remember Robert Bevan's handy 80s karate movie comparison.
Do cobras have a cloaca?
I think
Oh, we
snakes
can't
have
go
a
down
dick.
this hole.
All right, so eventually,
As we left off, you were in a room with a lot of dead slodpoles and a cage.
Does it have a cloaca?
Well, now everyone's going to try to fuck the cage.
Yeah, now we gotta.
Bjorg is at the table with the books.
Well, there's a waste.
Roll me an investigation check.
And now he is sad. What do you want me to roll?
Investigation.
Investigation. This should be hilarious. All right, Bjorg rolled 16.
16 is good. 16 will get you several books and journals and ledgers. There's a lot of horrific diagrams. It's all written in Gnomish, but these are clearly anatomy books because of, well, just obvious drawings and sketches. So roll me a knowledge medicine.
Oh, I totally thought you were going to say roll me knowledge meta, and I was going to be like, that's way too easy. Okay, knowledge.
Or just medicine. Just medicine,
Yeah,
sorry.
medicine. Yeah, I was going to say. All right, medicine. Bjorg rolled a 12.
Okay, without being able to speak the language and with a 12 medicine check, you can't really figure out what these are about. They just sort of look like books about some sort of anatomy stuff is all you can figure out.
Bjorg is going to look over his shoulder and yell, Fandango! I found a bunch of books that have pictures of bodies in them.
Whoa.
But I can't.
More gnome porn?
But I can't read.
I can't read gnome.
Brandon heard gnomish and anatomy, which are two things he knows better than everybody in the room. So he's going to demonstrate that as loudly as possible. Saunter over.
I
Saunter
too
over
have
with all of his-
books of pictures of bodies.
Technically true.
Fandango's going to move over towards Bjork because he doesn't want anything to do with any books that Klaus has.
Also wise.
All right. Yep. Them's books.
At this point, are we just standing as far away from Klaus as we can, pretending
Well-
we're looking at stuff?
Bjorg hasn't told me who he's handing the book to.
He's got Brandon on one side and Fandango on the other side. Well, who's going to convince him more?
Fandango's like, I don't read gnomish, bro.
Oh, then Bjorg will just hand it to Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why don't you give it to the guy who reads gnome?
it's pretty convincing.
Oh wait,
What do I-
does Brandon read gnome? I don't think we've heard that.
Or is he just lying out his ass? I mean, he might just be lying out his ass.
That would be hilarious if this entire time, like, Steve and I were just GM chatting and making shit up.
That would be hilarious. But
Would be.
You're
Definitely
both too lazy.
hypothetical. Yeah, that is fair. All right, Brandon Thighmaster, you peruse the journals, and you see that these were flesh experiments basically going on in various parts of this level of the facility. It was a place in which different monsters and creatures and beasts were analyzed and cut apart and re-sewn together. Basically, they were trying to learn a lot of things about like natural abilities and resistances, and the sloths were especially of note because sloths are immune to telepathy, or they have a very high magical resistance and a very high telepathy resistance. And as they were dealing with an aboleth in the sub area, they were trying very hard to work around that.
Wait, an aboleth?
Well, it doesn't say that. I'm just filling in the gaps for you guys.
So these guys were here trying to read the minds of tadpoles.
I know exactly what to do, guys.
This is where your tax dollars have gone.
I've got it.
I can probably tell you. Please stop killing us.
Fendingo's going to run over and pick up a little slod larvae corpse. Bjorg, bend over.
What?
Kneel down.
Why?
Because I can't reach the top of your head when you're standing up. You're very tall.
Oh, I thought because I've got some fresh lube.
Well, I have a handful of slod.
Bjorg is going to just stare at Fendingo, and like his face takes on the expression of the narrow-eyed fry meme.
Come on, go for it. All he wants to do is toss your slod.
Trust me, this will work. This is what these guys were trying to do.
Put tadpoles on their heads.
Yes. And Fendingo will reach up and try to put the tadpole on top of Bjorg's head.
All right. Are either of you going to check the desk for anything?
I mean, I'll look for money or magical objects, but right now I want to make Bjorg wear a slod pole on his head.
Is that the only reason this is being done?
Yes.
I hate you.
I mean, really?
He's so trusting.
Hey, Fendingo.
Yeah.
Roll me a Arcana or History check. Your call.
Fendingo rolls a 21 on Arcana.
Okay, cool. You know, part of the reason that sloths are so dangerous is because they infect people and turn them into sloths as well. Hence, part of why handling them is something you very rarely do if you don't have to.
Bjorg is going to, like, if it hasn't touched his head yet, he's going to...
It's okay, we'll put it on a sheet of paper. Alright, so I don't put the slot on Bjorg's head.
Brandon's going to take this opportunity to, I guess, apply some oil, and in doing so, disapply some slard juice.
Oh man, I wonder if Brandon's going to be turned into a
I
slod.
wonder if Klaus's dick is going to be turned into a slod.
I didn't fuck any slod.
Yet.
Yes.
We've had our backs to you for like 3 minutes. I just assumed.
We don't know what you do when you're
I have
invisible.
not left this table. Can I investigate this table that I've been hiding behind for a while?
Yes, you may, Klaus. Yes, you may.
All right. Investigation. Oh, I actually have ranks in that. All right, Klaus rolls a 20.
You dig in, you find some scribblings, some notes. It just sort of seems to be baseline. Oh, no, wait, you don't speak Gnomish. You just find papers with writing you don't understand.
No pictures of bodies.
No pictures of bodies on this one.
Oh, this is bullshit.
Alright, Fendingo will check out the desk looking for money or magical objects.
I can't fap to this.
And Fendingo will roll a 14 for investigation.
Okay, you see the same things that Bjorg saw.
Nothing cool here.
Hour of the Gods is going to investigate this cage a little closer.
Okay, roll me an investigation.
At 11.
Super well crafted, very clearly magical, both from the things you've seen and just you've been around enough to tell when something is blatantly magical. Yeah, reinforced at every seam, bound to the ceiling and the wall and the floor. This thing was made to keep the goddamn thing inside of it.
That's handy.
Well, what's on this table over here? The round table.
I already looked at that super hard.
Would you like to roll me an investigation?
Sure.
Looked at it the hardest.
I don't have faith in Brandon actually looking at anything other than his reflection.
Bjorg is going to follow Fendingo over.
Fendingo
Okay.
rolls a 12.
If I investigate while hard, I know I'm bound to miss things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Are you going to put the ring of invisibility on first, or are you just going to town?
I'm not investigating that. I'm staying where I am and keeping everybody safe.
Oh, you said that as if to say, well, I can't investigate while I'm hard, so I guess I'll just have to make myself not hard.
Brandon said he looked very hard, or he investigated it very hardly, or whatever he said.
Ah, I thought you were doing a lead-in for a beating off session.
No, I was making a beating off joke, and you fucking killed it.
Yeah, you really did. That stomped all over it.
What you're saying is he beat your beating off joke?
He beat off my beating off joke.
Okay, so just a quick question, because
Beatception?
my brain is... I haven't had a chance to listen to the previous episodes. Did you guys fight an aboleth?
No.
No, we
Okay,
found out that there's an aboleth down, that thing that was in the place where we didn't go because it scared the fuck out of us. There's an aboleth in there.
Oh, okay,
We're
gotcha.
all alive, so you can pretty much assume we didn't fight an aboleth. They
Gotcha.
attack the mind, and ours aren't strong.
So the party has been looking for some sort of mechanisms or items that would permit them to not be dominated by a aboleth.
Some of us are looking for ways to not have to fight the aboleth.
Okay,
Also-
You're not fighting the aboleth right now. You could just leave.
should we just assume that Bjorg has been brought up to speed on this, or does anyone want to bring him up to speed? Because he's mighty confused right now.
You just did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I've never fought an aboleth before. I once headbutted a man to death with a skull on my face, but I've never fought an aboleth before.
How big was this a human skull, or how big would that skull have to be for you to wear it on your giant head?
I don't know. It's complicated. I was 9 years old.
Oh, so your head was smaller. All right. That makes sense.
John, for reference, the 12 investigation got you that this is a table with like old dishes and cups. It was clearly meant to be a place where people sat and like took meals. There's a lot of desks in here. This was a room where a lot of people worked. This was their communal eating space.
I'm going to check out the dead body in this cage.
Okay. What exactly are you trying to do? Are you trying to figure out what this was in life? Are you trying to like scour its body for distinguishing marks? Are you trying to see if there's anything hidden in the cage? Like, tell me what you're doing.
Well, I do want to see what it was in life. And yes, I'm going to take an arrow and I'm going to reach through the cage and I'm going to jab it, just to make sure it doesn't start moving.
Okay. You poke it a few times. And it is definitely not moving. It is fucking dead. And as you look, it has clearly been dead for some time. You're looking more at like desiccated remains than anything else. If this were a different type of creature, it very well might not still be around. It might have rotted away.
So it's not juicy.
Definitely not juicy.
I'm going to see if I can open the door to the cage so I can step in and investigate it.
Okay, I guess roll me a strength check.
19.
19 is not bad. Unfortunately, it's not enough to break a lock. And this is still a locked cage.
Klaus watches him with amusement.
Hey, Arrow, we have a guy whose job is kind of to break into things. The downside is it's Klaus.
Yeah, call over to Klaus. It's like, hey, I thought I saw some more gnomish porn in this cage.
He knows how to motivate people.
You said that we had someone whose job is to break into things. My first thought was, but that would mean him acknowledging that Klaus had value.
Oh, hurtful.
Klaus goes over there and is sorely disappointed by what turns on Silas, or the Arrow of the Gods. Wow. If you think that's gnomish porn, you should see what I got in my bag.
Silas is being kink-shamed.
Hey, Klaus, why don't you try to open it for him?
No, I'm looking as hard as I can. I don't see any gnomish porn. I just see
It's
dead...
under the body.
I don't believe you can see that. I can open the lock if you like, but whatever you want to do with that dead body.
Open the fucking lock.
All right, Klaus will attempt what is that? Let's see.
For this, I'm going to say sleight of hand.
That's a good one for me. Ooh, not a very good one. Klaus rolls a 14. Ah, well.
14 will not do it. If you'd like to take your time, you can spend a little longer and do it with advantage.
Okay, I mean, you could just wank through the bars if you want. All right, here we go.
I'm actually trained in sleight of hand.
Do you have thieves' tools?
Well, no.
Then you can use it, but you can't add your proficiency. I default gave Klaus thieves' tools in the 5e upgrade.
All right, I'll give it another try. All right, Klaus rolls a 24 with advantage.
Oh, yeah, you easily unlock it.
All right, well, I'm going to go back to my table, and I don't want to see this.
Klaus just slow backing away. Look, man, just keep your dick in your pants until I'm a few feet away.
Seriously considering just putting an arrow right between his shoulder blades as he walks away, but somehow refrain. All right, I will open up the door to the cage.
Okay, you are now looking at the remains of a dead creature.
All right, well, step in the cage and study it.
Okay, roll me a... I'm going to say this one is going to have to be Arcana if you want to know what this creature is.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's pick another one of skills that Silas doesn't have.
Yeah, man, you're a pally trying to do some rogue shit. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, Arrow of the Gods gets a 5 in his medical examination.
Yeah, this thing you have never fucking heard of before. Woo, whatever this was, it was weird.
Give it a good solid kick in the head then.
Does it have a discernible head?
What is left of the head splinters and sprays your foot in a disgusting rotted gunk.
He's into some weird shit.
Nice.
Ron Weasley, Jeremy.
He's making crush videos. It's whatever, man.
Don't look.
Well, while this is going on, Brandon's going to try and accumulate some more backstory that we can forget about and ignore. So I'm going to investigate the desk where Klaus is.
Hey, man.
See if I can read the notes that are there.
Okay.
You don't want to see that shit, huh?
Well, if Klaus is willing to give you the notes...
I didn't take them. I don't want them. There's no pictures.
Oh, okay.
Nope. There's no pornography here.
Then yeah, they're just out. You can just pick them up. It's basically just an observation schedule of the subjects. It has 3 different subject types listed: subjects A, subjects B, and then subject C. And so it has the schedule and the activity of this person appears to have tracking subjects A. And as you read through, it becomes pretty clear that subjects A were the slod poles that you just killed.
Hey, Brandon. What if we went and locked the Arrow of the Gods in that cage and then gave it a good shake?
Oh, that would be a boring waste of time.
That would be hilarious. Ron Weasley, Jeremy, you're my only friend.
And also the Arrow of the Gods is really cool. I'm going to relay my findings. Whoever these guys were, they were uninteresting nerds. Let's leave.
Okay.
Hey, can Bjorg investigate the table as well in front of him? The table of defending already did, I guess.
Oh, the dinner table. Yeah, investigation roll.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And there's still other desks we haven't investigated, right?
Yes, there are 3 other desks.
Supposedly, I'm some sort of moral compass, so I'm trying to actually.
I didn't hear you say anything when Arrow of the Gods started whacking off on a dead body after splitting its head open, Mr. Moral Compass.
That's his problem. Okay, 15.
Yeah, still just a dinner table.
Bjorg is getting bored now, and we'll start wandering over to the other tables, or the other desks.
Okay.
Hey, Brandon, let's look at all of these desks so we can find out what that thing was that the Arrow of the Gods tried to fuck. And maybe one of these desks will tell us what's in this cage that kind of scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, sure.
And And I need your help because you can read gnome and not just porn.
I can read Gnomish. I can read and speak Gnomish really well.
Bjorg is going to go over to that other desk that I just moved his token over to and investigate again. If that's...
Yep. Give me an investigate. Since you guys are going with him, are you pitching in as well?
Yes.
All right. If you guys are willing to take like however long is necessary, just go ahead and roll with advantage. I'm just going to start assuming you're being thorough.
Okay.
There's nothing currently trying to kill us, so we might as well.
Yeah, no, it's the right move.
Roll to 17.
17.
Fandingo rolled a 23.
Brandon Firemaster rolled an 11.
Good thing you can read.
Yeah, but no, with advantage, so that's an 11. For the listeners, Brandon rolled double 11s.
And you would know that if you were watching this shit on YouTube.
Yeah.
Are we recording this? Is this a video now?
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
I think Steve's been doing that for a
Been
while.
recording the map for months.
It goes up on the
Seriously?
YouTubes.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I thought it was just like... I didn't know we were recording the session. I thought we were just, playing it on YouTube and just having, just random shit, flicker by, like our character pictures.
Oh, there's that as well, but there's also the map for the really interesting bits when we're looking at this desk.
Oh,
Indeed.
well, that's neat.
Or like when you draw pictures of giant elk dick that you're wearing on your head.
Yeah, people need to see
Has it
that.
been going on that long?
Oh, yes.
Jesus.
I believe it was the elf dick pictures that inspired us to have a visual component to this podcast.
It really feels like we set this up to plug the YouTube, but we sincerely didn't. This conversation was all 100% real.
Like and subscribe, people.
Witchcraft, I say.
Nobody tells me things enough.
Say, fellas, do we have some kind of YouTube channel? Well, gee, Bob, I'm glad you asked.
As if only there was a tube channel for you, the listener.
Well, golly gosh, Gladys, have we got a channel for you?
Ooh, wait till Bevan finds out this is a podcast.
Listen, I've watched the YouTube videos, and I guess it's been a while. When did we start actually putting up the map and stuff?
Well, beginning of the year, maybe?
This year.
When we started the YouTube channel.
Yeah, everything that's
2018.
uploaded leading up to the YouTube channel is just our character images and shit. Everything that was done since we started the channel has the maps and more cool shit.
Well, have we announced this to people?
Several
There's
times, I would say.
You realize that's the thing we were talking about. There's over 1,500 people who know about it.
And now you're one of them.
I see it pop. I'm subscribed, but I don't need to watch it. I lived it.
And now Bevan is on the same page as our fans.
Are any of you guys aware we had a Patreon channel?
I'm aware
I
of
was just kind of browsing the web there, and I came across the Orphans and Dragons Patreon channel. And there's some neat goals and tiers and rewards that you can get into today.
Okay, so with a 23, John, Fandingo and everyone finds another set of notes written in Gnomish.
Guys, I think I've just translated this bit of paper. And did you know that on TeePublic you can find Orphans and Dragons merchandise?
Oh, goddamn, you broke me.
Oh. Now that's native advertising.
I was just playing the fool to let you guys know about this YouTube channel.
So, out of pure curiosity, are notes done by a gnome? Gnomes?
Are gnomes done by who?
What? No. That's disgusting.
Not me yet.
yet.
Only in my mind.
Well, only in one version of your mind.
Oh God. Do I even know I have gnome porn?
Yes, I think you woke up with it in your hand and your
that's
dick
right.
out.
Before we're getting into the philosophy again there, does anybody really know they have no importance?
I'm going to scoot a little bit over on this side of the desk and, if nothing else is going on, I'll keep a wary eye on the cage, but I will look at the gnome porn for a bit. Just reading the articles.
Brandon Thighmaster, as the only one who can actually read the notes, this set concerns Subject C. The notes describe that he is very stoic, very quiet, and that the more the observer watches, the more certain they are that he is planning to kill them all. And like the notes include going to add darkening feature to the cage next week, keep him in the dark about the comings and goings of the staff, just in case. And that's sort of the end of that one.
So Subject C is whatever's in the cage, which we assume is a slot.
That's probably what the C stands for.
Cage. Yeah, C for cage dweller. Well, I've contributed.
That's good. Let's go over to this desk and contribute over here.
Bjorg will follow.
This is why I signed up to an adventuring pie. Look at
To read.
All right. Everyone give me investigations. And since you're taking your time, do it with advantage.
I assume you mean everyone that's over there.
Yep.
Bjorg rolls a 17 again.
Brandon Firemaster rolls a 17.
Fandango rolls a 23 again. And
Damn.
he doesn't want to know what Klaus is investigating.
Okay.
The last one referred to a subject who...
The thing in the cage
Okay.
that they're pretty sure wants to kill everything.
All right.
Subject A are slard poles. Subject C is the slard in the cage, or we assume it's a slard.
And we don't know what subject B is, but Arrow of the Gods wants to fuck it.
Yeah.
All right. This one. So, Brandon Thighmaster and Bjorg, you find a set of notes again. This one is sort of a general, like it's a shift schedule, and then there's like some experiments, like timer things listed out. It basically looks like this is the person who had to like keep everyone else on task. Fantingo, you, as everyone is giving this thing a thorough searching and checking, you notice a small seam, barely discernible to the naked eye, running through the wall. And as you run up and you run your hand along the stone surface, you are pretty sure that there's a door here. There's no markings or any sort of mechanism that you can see immediately on it, but you are pretty sure with your 23 that there's a hidden door.
Oh, Klaus.
What? I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. So, I think I found a closet full of gnome porn over here. Can you come open this secret door?
Right, Klaus will put his porn away. He can't focus while all this attention is on him.
Performance anxiety?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Little stage fright?
All right, I'm over there now. Did I do an investigation to look for the secret door, or?
No, he basically he told you it was there. Like he's showing you the seam.
Oh.
It's not here. I'm gonna just move that a little bit out. I'm gonna assume you guys move that out of the way to get better access to the secret door. It's not actually this pronounced as it is on the map. It's
Right.
just to let you know the location.
So, all right, so you found a door. What, you need me to open it, or what?
Yes.
Do you,
Fandango says, walking backwards.
Brandon Firemaster will also walk away from the door, but not because he's a coward, but because he wants to see what's at the other desk that wasn't investigated.
Fandango's 100% a coward.
Roll me an investigation. Klaus,
yeah, I guess Klaus will check this door for traps.
give me a perception.
Klaus rolls a 13.
You don't see any traps. You also don't see any keyholes or mechanisms. You basically see no way to activate this door.
I'm trying to push it.
I thought you were going to say, you don't see any traps, but you don't see any not traps either.
You push, it feels like you're pushing a stone wall.
All right. Yeah, this door's bullshit. You guys.
Brandon Firemaster rolled a 17 in his investigation of the desk.
Of that desk, you find a third set of notes that pertain to subjects B. They are a different type of species. These appear to be not sloths, but they were gathered from the same general area where these sloths were found. They refer to some of their eating habits and general activities, enough to where if you would like to roll an Arcana or a... Nope, still just Arcana, but with advantage.
Does it mention that they have very fuckable neck holes?
You mean stomas?
Oh, dear God.
We're going to have another educational derail now. Brandon Firemaster rolls an 18 with
Nothing
advantage.
turns me on like throat cancer. This arrow of the gods is fucked up.
Ooh, we're really coming in on this one. Brandon Thighmaster, it is a Nothic. They are one-eyed, creeping monsters, lurked in places with great magical knowledge. They were aberrations, much like the Sloths, but they weren't considered as powerful, and apparently in the Sloth versus Aboleth fight, they didn't win.
Holy shit. All right, I relay that to the others, specifically to the Hour of the Gods, seeing as he was curious and it might put me in the running for a badge.
Okay, so these things were fought the Aboleths and didn't win.
I like aberrations that win.
I'm sort of just filling in the gaps here. It just mentions that Nothics and Sloths were here, but you guys came in to find live Slodpoles and dead Nothics. So, okay, that's going on. The people who are messing with the door, I would like you can either do survival or, what the hell, I'll give you straight intelligence. Your call, whichever one you want, but no advantage.
Pretty sure. Yeah, there's no advantage on intelligence in this group.
Yeah, definitely not. So, Klaus, Bjorg, and Fandango.
Oh, me? What am I looking at?
Everybody who's messing with the door, you can either roll a survival or a intelligence check.
Fandango rolls a 17 survival.
Bjorg rolling survival as well.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Bjorg rolls a 9.
Klaus will roll an intelligence check. Klaus rolls a 19.
Damn, Jesus.
Wow. Damn. All right. Klaus and Fandango,
Klaus knows all about cloacas.
as, shall we say, gentlemen acquainted with unusual entrances and exits into property not owned by you.
Oh, property.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you were going to say a person acquainted with unusual slits and how to get into them.
Cloacas.
As gentlemen of trespassing natures, you have both seen more than a few hidden doors and safes and whatnot, and you know that if there is no visible means of activating it, often that means there's a switch hidden somewhere else nearby that must be located and used.
All right, let's look for the Fandango wants to go back over to this desk and start looking for the switch around this desk.
And I'll be very clear, PS4 will not suffice. Has to be Switch.
I just heard penis 4 will not suffice.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. What is that?
It's goddamn penis 5 or nothing.
I'm putting that up in the live blog, goddammit. I don't care if it's...
Yeah, I don't have any idea what it means, but penis 4 is not going to work. Okay, got it.
Takes a real spin on Nerf or nothing, doesn't it?
Well, these guys are searching around for the opening to this door. Arrow of the Gods is going to check out this door to see if it's locked or not.
Okay, you open it, and there is a hallway.
Oh, the door was open all this time, right? Okay.
You guys were basically trying not to die from the slot poles. It did occupy your time the minute you walked
I think I
in.
just assumed that somebody did something as obvious as check the door. But
Wait, you're not talking about the secret
And
door.
that's why I'm the arrow of the gods, and you're not.
well, I've got a lot of learning to do.
Lesson 1, check doors.
Fendingo rolls a 14 for investigation.
What are you investigating?
The desk looking for a switch.
You do not find a switch.
Klaus is going to search the wall near the door. Show me the opening to this dungeon cloaca.
Dungeon cloaca.
What does this door lead to, and how can I fuck it?
Was that an investigation?
Yeah. Investigation is what we've been using for all this.
Klaus rolls an 18.
Oh, that is an excellent investigation, but you do not find a switch there.
Yell over to Bjorg. Start like knocking over these desks onto their side. There's probably a button on the bottom.
Hey, Bjorg, can you just break
Wait.
it?
Okay, so we're trying to break
The door?
the door.
Not the desk.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
all right.
door, not the desk.
And let me investigate the desk before you start fucking it up.
Which desk are you going to investigate?
Well, the one next to the door. But I'll let Bjorg beat on the door for if he wants to.
Okay, so that would be a strength check to try and fuck up the door? Okay, alright. Bjorg's gonna walk up and attempt to basically heel kick that fucker in. And he rolls an 11.
11 is not going to do it. Basically, if you want to, you can start just attacking this stone as if it is a creature and try and chisel your way through.
So, like, rolling attack rolls?
But it's going
I'm reminded of when he tried to pull an axe from a stone.
Did he say that out loud?
No.
Oh, okay.
yeah, roll me an attack. Are we asking you using your weapon or are you using your fists?
Yeah, fuck it, he'll use his sword, it's magic, and awesome. So, 27.
27 will hit.
12 damage.
All right, you put a scratch in it. It's going to take you a long time to cut through this thing. I looked up the stats for a wall of stone.
Maybe this isn't the best move.
This reminds me of when in Monty Python and the Holy Grail when they charged up to the French castle and like just beat on the walls with their swords.
I mean, do you guys want me to just, like, grind fuck this thing to death?
I'm gonna let you know if you slam your blade into stone for like 10 minutes repeatedly, there's gonna be some structure damage.
That's kind of, yeah.
I'm not a dick about durability, but there's a limit.
Bjorg is gonna just kind of look at Vending and go, "This is not going to work. I'm going to damage my sword, and that makes me less useful to you. It's magic. It was given to me by Santa Claus."
I'll check out that desk for switches.
Which desk?
The one next to the door.
Okay, roll me an investigation.
Ooh. With advantage or without advantage?
Oh, I'm going to go ahead and keep giving you guys advantage. You're taking your time.
Either way, Klaus rolls a 6.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It literally looks like your rolling box is rolling its eyes at you. Like, oh, fuck you. Yeah, you find nothing. Just desk. Just so much desk.
No switches here.
No switches there.
I'm certain of it.
Fandango's going to come investigate the side of the wall that is opposite the side Klaus was looking at.
Okay, roll me an investigation.
Do I still get advantage?
Yeah, I get. You guys aren't threatened unless there's a
All
reason you can't take your time. I'm just going to assume you're doing all the stuff you can with advantage.
Natural 20.
Yeah, you find nothing.
Not a goddamn thing.
Nothing there. Not an absolute fucking thing. But with a natural 20, you will notice that really the most logical place for this to be would probably be somewhere that the person in charge was sitting. And even if you have searched it already, maybe it's worth going back and giving a real thorough once-over.
So back to the desk I was just at, because it just makes more sense.
You nat 20'd. I mean, I gotta give you something.
That's fair. Hey guys, I'm really, really sure that the switch is somewhere around this desk. Why don't you fuckers help out? This time, Fendingo will roll a 22 for an investigation.
So as Fendingo is chastising you all, saying, "Why don't you fuckers help out?" he slams his hand down on the desk, activating a tiny trigger on the edge, and with a click and a hiss, this door slides open.
So, thanks.
Oh, guys, I found the switch over here.
Happy to help out.
Yes, I am happy to have inspired you.
That you do.
Like on the
Okay,
other
so
side.
what is here is not like a full room, but basically what you have found is a closet that is hidden away within this area. But it is not a...
Exciting.
Well, when I say closet, I mean closet size.
Klaus, I told you it was a closet full of gnome porn.
What is in there is an extensive amount of research that has clearly been hidden. Brandon, you... for expediency of show and game, we'll say you pick up the one titled Synopsis and just give it a skim.
Oh, God.
This guy was super meticulous and thoughtful for anybody who might stumble upon his staff.
I found piles and piles, and I found this one called Cliff Notes.
I don't know who this Cliff guy was, but he's awesome.
Klaus will skim through for illustration.
So what you find as you read the synopsis is that all of this research is related to, and what the hell? We'll say you're actually just reading like the index or something, and you're putting it together based on the titles. The focus of this research seems to be digging deeper into sloths themselves, specifically the fact that they can turn other creatures into themselves, and it doesn't matter if it's human, elf, dwarf, orc, whatever. So basically this person theorized that the sloth's natural assimilation abilities are the key to integrating the abilities of other monsters into existing bodies. He was trying to find a way to use the sloth's baseline capabilities to engineer and put different monster traits into other creatures. He was basically doing the D&D version of splicing, or trying to research it. And you find, as scrolled away as you dig through, you find a passcode of 5 numbers that you might want to write down and keep track of in some capacity.
I'll remember it.
Yeah, couldn't be important.
5, 1, 6, 2, 2.
Yep, numbers, got it.
All right. Congratulations on that. You guys got some hints at some of the deeper story going on here, and that passcode might come in handy down the line.
I've already forgotten those numbers, just to let you guys know.
So we need to go find a way to essentially fuse Ron Jeremy Weasley and into Klaus's dick.
Well, it seems to me the real scientific challenge here isn't sort of modifying ourselves with the mental capabilities of the sloth, but doing that without getting any of that gross slothness on us. So, think on that, guys.
Says the guy who's covered in grease.
Always.
Just to be clear, if you want to see Ron Weasley Jeremy as Klaus's dick, you can read Klaus Encounters.
Because
Not available on YouTube.
Whew. That is a wow. Yeah, if you buy that book, no returns. You fucking knew what you were getting.
it's kind of like buying a book called Ghost of Hooker Alley. You know what you're getting in for.
No kidding. All right. Well, what would you guys like to do now?
So we've discovered that they were attempting to splice themselves with... this is all very confusing.
All right. So they were...
You don't get the feeling that any of these scientists were going to use themselves as guinea pigs for any of these experiments.
Did we see a keypad on this big cage?
No, you saw a sign warning you under no circumstances open this without the control gem.
Right. Control gem.
control gem?
You do not have a control gem.
Oh.
We have a passcode and another door to go
Yes,
through.
we have a door.
Well,
Or we could
Let's go.
go back to a... Wasn't there a room with, like, a couple of doors, and we went through this one?
yes.
No, this was the only route you guys could access with your current level of gemstone clearance, and you have not
Right.
increased that as of yet.
Well, I was
Interesting.
investigating
So we
this
can't go-
desk here. This is the one where there were illustrations. Are any of them of interest to me?
Literally all of the notes were about schedules.
No, but like, weren't there like ones with pictures of bodies?
Yeah, that was found at the other desk, and Brandon
never
has
mind.
them.
Okay. I'll follow the other guys.
Yeah, then let's go out of here.
Oh.
All right. Bjorg will follow the...
Oh, no.
Shit.
Bjorg will lead.
Yeah, Bjorg will go and walk first through the door.
Okay. You all are going to be entering a hallway. Shocker, I know, based on what the Arrow of the Gods has already seen, but somehow you'll all have to keep it together. You are just sort of walking through, again, more polished, clearly made walls. This all has a very artificial feeling to it. You're sort of used to it by now. And you go for several minutes, and then you arrive at a new door. Bjorg, shall I assume you're going to push on? Okay. Bjorg, you push on, opening the door, revealing another stone room with a row of desks and the unmistakable scent of blood. And I think that's a good spot for us to hop off for this week. We will be back next to see what's in this room. But first, of course, we have to take our questions. You know, we're not done. We do take questions both from facebook.com/Authors from Dragons, and we let our Patreons cut the line and jump in first over at the Discord channel. You can access that Discord by being on patreon.com/Authors and Dragons. So, Rick, as our line-cutting aficionado, why don't you take us through a question. That nickname sounded a lot more dickish than it really meant to. I just meant that you're the guy who handles the Discord, but it makes you sound like an asshole knocking kids all the way at Six Flags, and I did not mean that.
It's like, no, I get on the roller coaster first, you little fucks.
Yeah. Out of the way, Timmy.
All right. Well, our friend Crisis asks, so how many of you guys are signing up for NaNoWriMo?
Oh, right. We wanted to touch on that.
I do it every year. I will probably attempt to use it this year to finish to finish or make serious headway on my current project, which is called Punk Rock Paladin.
So, in general, most of us don't really do NaNoWriMo specifically because we're already kind of producing books at the fastest rate we can, and trying to spend all of November on one project might not be the best for our individual schedules. So we love Nano. We support it fully. It doesn't necessarily work for us in the demands of our profession, but we love it. And, in fact, we're going to be adding a NaNoWriMo channel to the Patreon A&D Discord for all of the fellow writers and people who are thinking about jumping in to go and talk and kind of share their experience with one another, get support, get feedback. We'll, be just like the regular Discord, swinging through when we can. So we're not necessarily going to be participating in NaNoWriMo outside of Joe, but we love it, we support it, and we're going to be giving you a place for you all to hunker down and hopefully get through it together.
Make it sound like I'm not a professional. That's cool.
No, you did it the smart way. You're like, I'm just counting 50K toward this project, which is,
basically, yeah.
When any of us do Nano, that's what we're doing. But like sometimes you have to be editing during November. It doesn't always line up.
I do Nano every month.
I will say that Falstaff Books is going to be closed for submissions during December and January, which are often known as National Half-Finished Novel Submission Month. So,
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, so make your December Nano edit mo, right? Or month.
Yeah.
Actually, as a thing, I think there's a oh god, I don't know what the weird
Edmo.
Des Edmo would be, but I think there is like an editing thing in December.
Yeah. Well, whatever the case, don't hit November 30th and be like, hey, I wrote a novel. Let me see if I can sell this like unedited thing to people.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's your NaNoWriMo advice from the Office of Dragons crew. Have it edited. Finished is not the same as done.
Yeah.
All right. Our friend Aaron asks, were you all popular in high school or on the fringes, and what group were you a part of in high school?
What was the question again?
Were you popular in high school or were you on the fringe?
I mean, for me, high school was way better than middle school when I was the D&D playing pariah, but I wasn't hugely popular. I was just a guy. I hung out with a lot of different people, but I was basically a huge nerd.
I was kind of fucked up in high school. I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
Middle school was fucking awful, but in high school, I sort of a mix. People liked me, but I hung out with freaks a lot, so and I was always getting into fights.
Yeah, I was definitely in the nerd herd, but I knew just enough. I was friendly enough with just enough like cool people that that nobody really wanted to kick my ass.
I was thinking my equivalent of high school. I had maybe 2 friends. I mean, I had a lot of people kind of talk to casually, but I only really hung around with a couple of people who got my sense of humor. So we just kind of amused ourselves for a couple of years.
There was my friend Guinness and my other friend Bass.
If you'd asked me in high school, I definitely would have told you I identified as a nerd and outcast. But truthfully, looking back, it wasn't like that bad. Like middle school blew ass. I feel like that's a weirdly common theme among us. But high school, I joined theater my sophomore year, and from I had friends, and then once I had theater, I had a community, and I went on dates, and I had fun. It wasn't. I definitely didn't miss high school when it was done, and I was ready to piece the fuck out of there. But in all honesty, it wasn't that bad. And if we're gonna be fully honest, I'm tall and I'm kind of good looking, so life has never been that much of a ball buster for me.
I'm glad to hear you had no shortage of self-confidence there.
I mean,
less so now that I'm older and fatter, but
Oh, you're still tall.
Younger Drew wasn't really trying that hard at life, and he was getting through.
All right, we'll move on from the tall, good-looking one to.
I guess we should go to the Facebook, Joe.
All right, hold on a second, y'all.
The one who's still good-looking and doesn't have to look back to youth.
He's still.
No. Don't worry. When I hit 45, I imagine all of the injuries I've accumulated are just going to spontaneously hit me at once, and I'll disintegrate into a pile of ash.
I was going to say, me and John, this is what you will look like when you hit 45.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, so our friend Jeff asked, when the apocalypse happens, what is your real-world skill that will keep the rest of the survivors from killing you to save resources?
Yeah, I don't have that. They'll kill me.
I'm an okay cook. I feel like I might be able to survive on that, because a weird amount of people my age do not know how to cook, in my experience.
I'm a really good shot. I mean, let's just be... I've always been a good shot, so that's
really funny because I've never thought of John as a gun guy.
I'm not a gun guy, but I have shot guns. I was raised around them, and I've just always been naturally a good shot. So it's not a skill. It's just I was made to kill things, I guess.
If I had any skills, my life would have taken a completely different direction. I'd be
still there.
That wasn't meant to be a downer. Sorry.
Human
It just
sperm bank.
cut off when you said I'd be eating, and that's
No,
it. That's all we
I'd
heard.
be eaten.
Right.
Oh.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I think we all took it
Human-
as eating, like I'd be eating fucking champagne dick waffles or something, and it's just nothing.
Champagne dick waffles?
I don't know. You try
Whoa.
coming up with a Bevan on the fly.
If eating is a skill that can get me through the apocalypse, I got it.
Can I just say really quick that Bevan on the fly sounds like some sort of really disturbing food truck meal?
Let's toss him on the grill. He's pre-beer battered.
Oh man, it's like somebody marinated this guy in Kirkland Light for years.
I'm thinking.
Bevan Donbury.
Hopefully, the tribe needs a second cook because I'd probably be there with like Drew, like peeling potatoes. Because I mean, as far as I can tell, the world is only going to need so many like storytellers and so many cooks. So if those slots are filled up, then I'm joining Bevan on the spit there.
Rick's like, yeah, professional jerk offer, whatever. Everybody likes a handy.
I didn't even consider that. I might survive yet.
Yeah. Emergency situation. You gotta redraw some lines.
Oh Lord. Okay, so next question.
Yeah, probably a good move.
All right. Okay. Holy fuck! You guys are messed up tonight. Do you want me to go with messed up?
Dude.
Sure.
Do this one? All right.
It's fun. If it's bad, we'll skip it.
Our friend Barnaby says, if you could torture someone to death and get away with it, how would you do it? Who would it be?
Oh God, no, we're not doing this.
Someone
all
with
right.
throat cancer.
Yeah,
Some
some of us have plans, Joe. We're not going to give them away for free.
Yeah, my answer
So we're
involves a
gonna cut-
very specific member of Congress, and that really doesn't need to be broadcast.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. All right, so our friend Greg says, here's an interesting thing. Have you ever revealed something about yourself in a book and then regretted it later?
That's my career.
I mean,
Jesus.
not really, because I've had characters do horrible things, but let's draw a very, very clear line right now. Like, I have characters that say and do things that are not reflective of me as an author. Like, the things that get revealed in books are things about those individuals, not me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. I can't say that I've put anything in a book that I regret, but that's because I have a personal rule in life that's I don't write anything or say anything that I'm not comfortable signing my name to, and admittedly, that means that I get in trouble a bit when I shoot my mouth off, but
it's good trouble.
still, it's good. Yeah, it's good trouble.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean,
I was just kidding about regrets.
you have no regrets.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of fun when people get pissed at me.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, sometimes I'll read something I wrote like a year or so ago and be like, wow, that is a really shitty sentence I put in there. But that's about my regrets. I'm with Drew. I'm like, I'm writing fictional characters here, so I'm not writing Mary Sue stories. These characters in there are not me. So
Yeah, but please do not think that I am woven into some of these fucked up people. Like,
yes,
Yeah.
Drew is a
Yeah.
combination of Johnny Three Dicks and the Whitest Knight.
no, I am very clearly a self-insert as Thunder in Pairs and Perils. Thank you very much.
I actually am woven into some of these characters, and darker sides included. I don't regret, writing them, but like I said before, the high school thing. Any high school people who knew me might recognize some of the shittiness in my characters, and but I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, I'm 100% with Bevan there. I think writing needs honesty. And some people do this. They'll go to a horror writer and go, oh, you must be really fucked up. Or, no. I think everybody has weird and dark thoughts now and then. And I think people enjoy kind of reading a fundamental honesty in how things are presented by an author. And if you don't have that, you're probably not writing very well, I would suggest.
Conversely, plenty of people don't like that. Like if you dare give your protagonist flaws that make them real and not perfect,
Oh, God.
some people will just jump down your throat, because all they want Superman, Clark Kent, and when your hero is there going, wow, she has a sweet ass on her. It's like, wow, how fucking dare you,
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, I think that kind of tides in and tides out as society needs it to, I guess. But I think, I'd rather take I don't think you're going to do anything interesting if you're not being honest.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, and I'm not saying that the thoughts have to reflect people. I was reading an article the other day about somebody who has, I can't remember what the exact term for it is, but it's an OCD where you just get these terrible thoughts constantly. But it doesn't mean anything for your personality. You don't act on them at all. I think I was having this conversation with Bevan when he was in England. I once had a boss who was talking to me, and he's that kind of bald where it's just like a 3-inch strip down the middle of his head. And I was thinking, he looks like he's been licked by a giant cat. And then I thought, wouldn't it be, how would he react if I just grabbed his head and licked it? And then I thought, oh, he's been talking for about 5 minutes now, and I have not been paying attention.
No, I was thinking, I had a similar experience. I was sitting around, not with any animosity towards the people I was sitting around, but just bored, I guess. If I had a hammer, how many of these people could I kill?
Exactly. And
Where would I hide your body?
Back in the 90s, I had this office that overlooked the Hudson in New York City, and this was well pre 9/11. But when I would need to unwind, I'd sit there and stare at the city and just mentally blow it up. There was no animosity. There was no plans to actually do it. It was just a thought exercise of well, how would this go down?
I think there are a lot of people who do they just can't seem to make that disconnect. They'll read a book and they'll go, oh, I can't believe you wrote that. It's not his, it doesn't define who they are. They're just exploring a dark idea. If you didn't like it, that's fine. You don't have to like everything, nor should you like everything. If you liked everything, then it just means that art is dead. But, I don't think Stephen King's a bad person because of what he writes, He's probably just a normal guy who just expresses his more fucked up ideas. Is just more honest about it than a lot of people would be.
I have no problem with a reader saying, hey, I reached a spot in your books. It was really tough for me. I couldn't go on, but they're still cool with you, as opposed to some readers will be like, I reached this part in your book. How dare you write that, you awful, awful person,
Yeah.
And if there's not space for people to do that, like I said, that's when art dies. Well, that got a bit serious, didn't it? Just moved on to the death of art. From licking a guy's head to the death of art.
All right. Just random cloaca reference here. All right. We're back on track.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, our friend Zachary says, what is a weird talent you have that you are way too proud of?
Haven't we answered this question before?
Have we? I don't know. I can draw stick figures pretty well, and to take any pride in that is to take too much pride.
I'm really good at making boozy drinks that don't taste boozy.
That is honestly, that's underappreciated.
Fairly proud of that. That's kind of a fun one.
That's really appreciated by people who drink like me and Rick.
Until the next morning. Then it's very not appreciated as the hangovers kick in.
What have you done?
God damn it, Drew. How many Sundays have I said that?
For anyone who's ever been to Korea, Oshipseju, they'll know.
Is that a talent or
no? It's a drink. It's like it's like barely sweet water, and then you got no pants and you don't know where you are.
I kind of want to try this.
Yeah.
So it's like a Korean night with Drew Hayes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That takes some serious subtext there.
Authors and Dragons goes to Korea.
Hey, we get enough Patreon subscribers, and we can get the A&D Does Asia thing.
We're gonna need a lot of Patreon subscribers.
Oh, and I mean, how fucked up that is. Like, well, yeah, you're paying for us to not travel and drink our way across.
You guys funded this goal for some reason, so we're gonna do it.
The next goal is a life-size cocaine statue.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, that comes one before the J.K. Rowling cocaine statue.
Okay, I've got an interesting one from our friend Michael. Our friend Michael asks, if you could write an episode for a TV show you watch, what would that show be? Also for John, what's your favorite Ravnica guild? I forgot to ask at DragonCon.
Well, for that, Demir. And in the upcoming set, Golgari looks really good. And then I'll think about the other one.
I want to say The Good Place, but I don't trust myself to write The Good Place.
Legends of Tomorrow, because John Constantine's on this show now.
Oh yeah,
I trust Drew to write The Good Place.
I don't know, man. That show is.
I believe in you for that.
I
Believe
think
in you, Drew.
I would take. You know what I would take? Justice League Action.
Oh.
It's animated. It's really good. It's light, but you still get the whole Justice League to play with. Yeah, I would fuck with Justice League Action.
Oh man, can we count shows that are already over?
I think we have to.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because the two that pop immediately to mind, I would eat a baby to have a chance to write for Young Justice.
And that one's coming back.
That's
so
coming back.
Get your baby eating bib on.
My baby bib on. And the second one, I would love. I mean, fuck, I'd love to write anything with Nightwing in it. But on top of that, I think writing an episode. It could be because I'm in the urban fantasy headspace right now. But I would love to write an episode for Grimm.
That would be an interesting one. If we're counting the past TV shows, I'll throw in that I would love to do Pushing Daisies.
And
What I would like to do, I wrote a blog post a while back on it, basically shitting on the show. So I mean, I probably should put my money where my mouth is. I'd love to write an episode of The Orville, only because it's one of those shows that doesn't seem to. It's good. It doesn't seem to know what it is. Doesn't seem to know if it wants to be sci-fi or comedy. And I'm like, you know something? Let me have that, and I can pick which one it should be.
Which one would it be?
Oh, definitely comedy.
Good, yeah.
There's enough serious sci-fi out there. Fuck that, you know.
I would also want to do an episode of Veronica Mars. Because it's coming
Oh,
back,
that'd be fun.
bitches.
It is?
Yep.
Yeah, just announced
shit.
today.
Where's
As
it
of
coming
recording.
back to?
Hulu. All original
Oh, okay.
episodes and a new run on Hulu.
Guess I'm gonna have to play catch up. Is it continuing the original?
There'll have to be a jump because, well, Chris?
Well, and the movie. The movie was
Yeah.
canon, I think.
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, okay. So wow. All right. So Veronica Mars, hard boiled.
I fucking love that show.
Have any of you guys watched Disenchantment on Netflix?
I watched
Not
the first
yet.
episode, and I was pretty disappointed.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think that's a show that all of us could write and probably do a better job than they have.
Yeah, they should really be knocking on our doors.
I was gonna say Caverns and Creatures, because then it would be a show.
I would like to write. There's a soap opera in England called EastEnders, and it's just the usual soap opera bullshit, but with Cockneys, and everybody's miserable, and nobody leaves that soap opera in a nice way. And I'd just like to write a self-aware character, because amnesia is needed for soap operas to work. Otherwise everybody would be a hypocrite and constantly terrified. So it's just a guy who's fully aware of his situation, and he knows that every relationship he's going to have is going to end in an affair. His kids are probably going to get an interesting illness, and if he ever tries to leave this place, it will be in a coffin. And that's
that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Can we crowdfund Steve getting to do this?
Yeah, just a self-aware soap opera character. I mean, he wouldn't last long, because he'd go mental. Yeah, so, but yeah, a couple of episodes, I think I could handle that arc.
I'd watch that. Watch the shit out of
Yeah,
that.
watch that.
Yeah, because you also have like fun with that. It's like, oh, I'm meeting a new person. You're an attractive blonde. You do realize we're going to wind up boning, right?
Our friend Anders said, "How do you guys feel about erotic fan fiction?"
Of our stuff or the stuff I write of Bevan's stuff?
I feel like Klaus has some strong opinions.
I'm gonna just say yes.
Yeah, go nuts.
Absolutely, yeah.
I can't read it, unfortunately, but
So, okay, I guess, so taking it from a slightly more serious perspective, yeah, fan fiction is great. If you want to take it in an erotic direction, that is great too. The whole point of fan fiction is that it is your interpretation of an existing property. Please don't be surprised if we cannot read fan fiction for a variety of reasons.
All of them legal.
Yeah. So there's a certain reason we, as a rule, don't read fan fiction, but the creation of it, I don't think any of us have any issues with it. Correct?
no.
Maybe leave out the stoma sex.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of fan fiction.
Oh, okay.
I think it's fine as a way to begin writing, but when you get to a place where you're putting it out there and you're using somebody else's trademarked work, I can't support that. I think you should write your own shit. So, and part of it is that I'm a publisher, so I do approach things from a little bit different level, different direction, and there's just too many cases of websites and places that are working to monetize fan fiction, and my job is to make money for my authors who are creating the work.
I did catch one person who joined a fan fiction contest. One of my readers pointed it out, and he was taking chapter by chapter of Bill the Vampire and just posting it as his own. So like he was like 3 chapters in, and I joined. I was like, wow, this is really awesome. I was like, and hey, everybody who's voting on this, maybe you should go and like actually like check out the rest of the story, which is already written for sale.
Yeah, and for me, it's just as a writing exercise, it's fine, but the sharing and distribution of work that's somebody else's IP, I'm not a fan.
Okay, that's fair.
There you go.
I mean, my general thing is, like I ran a fan fiction contest a while back, so that was like, that was completely like, on the up and up, because it was like, it was for that. I would actually have no problem if people wanted to go on as long as they're not selling it. If they want to go on Wattpad and do that stuff, I would love attribution. Hey, these characters are part of whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's one of those labors of love, and like, I don't know. I understand both sides. I understand like from that publisher side. It's just from my side. I'm like, hey, if I randomly came across a a Bill the Vampire fanfic on like some site, my first thought would be like, well, that's pretty fucking cool. Assuming it wasn't just plagiarized from. Well,
that's not fan fiction. That's
copying. Well, obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a fan. It's fiction.
Yeah, I certainly don't condemn it, but I don't support it.
Okay.
I mean, like I said before, I can't really control what you're doing out there, but I can't read it.
All right, what does that mean? We can't read it.
Okay, basically there have been people who have been sued by fanfic writers because they couldn't prove that they didn't read the fanfic writer's thing, and thus they couldn't prove that they didn't get an idea from them.
Nah, I'm not following this one.
They're sued for
I get it.
plagiarism.
So
Yeah.
this is something that annoys me, not just about fan fiction, but kind of fan speculation in general, because everybody will be like, I was just reading on something that came up on Facebook and is right in my face, and it's like, well, what's going to happen in Infinity War 2? This fan has a theory. And I'm like, well, whatever that theory is, they can't do it now, can you? Because you've just put it all over Facebook. So they're going to have to do something else.
True. No, I mean, if you got enough fans, somebody's going to guess the right. I mean, like for instance, Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire, whatever. Fan theories. I mean, you got a gazillion people reading the books. Somebody is going to come up with the right theory. It doesn't mean you can't do it. You have to do it. I mean,
also, when you're that big, though, you have the money to defend yourself.
They don't have to be right to be a pain in the ass.
That's
is the bottom line. Someone doesn't actually have to have ground to stand on to make your week really shitty.
Yeah, it's like I don't think I've ever heard of like one of those lawsuits actually winning, but it's like that doesn't mean it can't cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in grief. Yeah.
So, all right, but to be clear, I mean, of course you can read it. You can't acknowledge that you've read it. Is that what we're saying? Or
I won't open the file. I delete the emails immediately unread.
Yeah, generally, just a flat out no.
There's emails. I thought this was like stuff published in public, though.
Well, I choose not to go to those sites. So
I don't even think there's an issue for me, but no, I was confused. I think I got a clearer picture now.
Yeah, I think we're all being probably overly cautious, but sometimes the world is fucked up, and it's the little guys who are more at risk. The folks like us who have just enough notoriety for somebody to have heard of us, but not enough to have George R.R. Martin money.
As usual, the problem is there's always a few assholes who have to ruin it for everybody else. I mean, let's face it. 99 out of 100 fans, if you were to read their fanfic, they would just probably die of joy, thinking that was the most awesome thing. But it's got to be that one in the crowd, even if it's like 1 in 1,000, who's just that like asshole who just like loves to take people to court and is all about getting money. They just pretty much ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
So my only problem with it is stuff that's ongoing. I don't want to hear if something's over. I don't mind a retrospective what could have been. That's great. I love those things. But if something's like still happening, I don't want to hear your take on it, because it's just like it's kind of like meta spoilers. If I hear enough of them, then eventually it's kind of like, well, I don't care what happens now. I've kind of got every kind of alternate universe conclusion of how this ends forced into my eyeballs by Facebook.
Well, some fandoms are so huge, like Star Trek or so, or like Star Wars, that like I don't see an issue with that. Where like somebody could take like a minor character, like that you see for 3 seconds as Mos Eisley Cantina, and just goes off and does a fanfic series about them. That wouldn't bother me at all.
The thing about Star Wars though, with the people had their theories so fucking hard grained in their mind that like when the thing that they expected to happen didn't happen, they lost their shit.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson with that. I kind of thought I knew where Star Wars was going, and then it didn't kind of really go anywhere. But yeah, it's the same with Red Letter Media recently did a thing speculating on what the new Picard Star Trek might look like. And their idea was really good. And I thought, well, they can't do that now because you sort of own that idea. You put it out before this thing is even developed. So it's either going to be, it might be quite disappointing that it doesn't live up to that expectation.
Well, the funny thing is, it's pretty ridiculous that some of these cases get as far as they do, because you can't copyright an idea.
Yeah.
So these plagiarism cases, in theory, should be really freaking easy, except they just drag on for years and years and years.
Do they?
Yeah.
They can. So I'm gonna take a flip side, because we've been fairly hard on fan fiction for a little bit, and I'm gonna take the pro side to if you want to do fan fiction in a way that is considered professional, there is a super easy way to do it. I've done it. Several of us have done it. It's called fuck with the public domain.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you want to get down to it, every reinterpretation, I did a book of fairy tales. That's absolutely goddamn fairy tale fan fiction. I get to put a nicer spin on it because it's public domain and it's a classic, but that's what it is. It's me reinterpreting a story that I heard and liked, but decided I wanted to tell a different way. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is an absolutely natural form of storytelling and creativity. Is internalizing something and recreating it, but in your own way.
Well, yeah. Think of all the Pride and Prejudice, fiction out there. It's actually a pretty huge business.
Absolutely.
I was actually thinking, for a while there, maybe just creating, just for shits and giggles, another pen name, and just taking, ancient, old classics like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and just writing them as asshole comedies and stuff.
Yeah, I'll give.
One of my favorite short stories that I wrote was Cooper's Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you guys a little bit of insight right now. I'm working on a series that's probably going to debut next year. I can't talk about it publicly, but I can tell you this. It's definitely falls into the same parameters. If you wanted to, you could class it as fan fiction.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, a case could be made that my Quincy Harker Demon Hunter series is Dracula fan fiction.
I think the kind of motivations are quite similar to, I wrote Shoot the Dead because I loved zombie B movies.
I mean, to a certain extent, all genre fiction is a form of transformative fan fiction because every book, every genre book is a riff and spin on the things that have come before and builds on what's come before.
Right. So I guess the point is, yes, don't try and sell work that involves other people's IP. But by the same token, never feel like writing fan fiction doesn't count as real writing, even if you can't profit from it. There is a long, storied history of people reinterpreting stories that came before, and it absolutely is a natural and real artistic expression of writing.
And there was Kindle World. I mean, it's dead now, but there was Kindle Worlds for a couple of years, and I mean, I thought that was a pretty awesome program.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, but I suppose the only other thing is if the creator doesn't live up to your interpretation of their work in any way, don't give them shit for it. That would be my only other addition to
Don't harass them off Twitter.
Yeah, try not to do that. Just accept that your interpretation, you can keep that. If you didn't like the way Star Wars went and you had a better idea, rewrite it as space battles or whatever,
Space battles.
Space puppies.
Yeah, make a spaceship out of Coors Light cans or something.
The aluminum falcon.
I mean, I know that's not why you wrote Space Puppies, but it'd be great if it did. If you just watched episode 1 and thought, no, this didn't have nearly enough sister fucking rednecks in it. I'll make my own version.
Jesus.
I think that is where we are going to end it this week.
All right.
Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next week on Side Quest because we are fully funded. Woo! But if you want to go access some of that cool stuff we talked about, check out the Patreon at patreon.com/AuthersAndDragons, or come join us in Corrals in the facebook.com/AuthersAndDragons, and stay tuned because we have got some really fun shit coming down the pipe in October. All right, we'll see you next week on SideQuest. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Authors and Dragons is brought to you under a Creative Commons license, meaning you are free to share this material so long as credit is given to those who created it, which is us, the people you just heard play the game. Opening and closing themes performed by the Gore Core 4.
Authors and Dragons! Authors and Dragons!
Like and subscribe, people.